So you have a choice here in terms of how one wants to do business. And the large automakers were producing things in a batch and queue fashion, Ford and General Motors. And so while you would have seen at the time a moving assembly line, so that would indicate to you a flow of product, everything upstream in the production process was batch and queue. So they would produce huge batches of steering wheels and gears and rims for tires and so on, and send them to the assembly line. And you can see here in this curve, what we have here is the economies of scale curve shown for Ford and General Motors, which is typically how this curve appears. And Toyota folks said, well, we can't compete based on scale because we don't have the resources, we don't have the money and so forth, so we have to do things differently. And what they figured out is that if you reduce the setup time, the queue time, and the parts transportation time, if you reduce them greatly from, in some cases, weeks to minutes. So Ford and General Motors in some cases were taking days and weeks to set up things and move things around and so forth. If you reduce the time greatly to minutes, then the shape of the curve changes and it flattens out. So you can produce a lower volume of product at a lower cost per unit, and therefore you can compete on a cost basis, which then translates in terms of your ability to produce at a price that the market is familiar with. So this was a huge breakthrough in terms of figuring out the positive impact of substantially reducing setup time, queue time, and part transportation time. And the benefits of flow are that it's the lowest cost way to produce whatever your product or service is. It results in the shortest lead time. It results in the highest quality and results in higher levels of workplace safety. So it has many benefits beyond this as well in terms of employee engagement, employee satisfaction, and so forth, survival of the business long term, lots of benefits, but it's a very, very large challenge to achieve flow in both production and non-production work.